if we can take the time to slow down and trust that what you have is only going to get better over time, instead of I need to lock it in, and if it gets worse, then we'll survive. Like, why would you want to lock in something that is still risky? You want it to be a known entity, and you're going to know any person, any man, any woman, any career, you're going to know it better after 2 years than 1 year. Hey, this is Evan Marquette, dating coach for smart, strong, successful women, your personal trainer for love. Welcome back to the Love You podcast. This is an Ask Evan Q&A. We do this for the Love-Splaining Substack. It is ultimately for paid members. You might get a sneak preview. Before you listen to this whole thing, stop what you're doing. Take your time to give us a positive review or any sort of review. Positives preferred. On Apple or on Spotify. Those reviews do make a difference. I very much appreciate it. Later on, we're going to talk about Love You and how you can be a part of it. Today's guest is a part of Love You. I've gotten to know her over the past few months. She's a Love-Splaining subscriber. She is delightful and open, and I've really enjoyed working with her, and I'm very glad to have her here. Her name is Maureen. Maureen, would you be kind enough to give a brief introduction like we do in Love You? Name, age, where you live, what you do, how you got here?
Yes, name is Maureen, age 70. And I will tell people out there that we have about 8 or 9 of us who are 70 and over, and we love it. I am originally from Buffalo, New York, live in Syracuse area, and now have transferred down to Florida for 6 month kind of thing.
Okay.
And I went back to school at 63 after my divorce, and I am now a clinical therapist. So I love what I do, and I work remotely.
Hey, what brought you to me?
What brought me to Love You was the fact that for 6 years, I was in a relationship after a divorce, kept going back and forth and back and forth. And I said, I know I need to leave this relationship, but where am I going to? I've studied relationships for the last 7 years, and I said the one piece that's missing is dating. I listened to a lot of podcasts, and I found on Evan. I stopped on Evan, and I said, this is the one. And I've been here, and it has been personal growth on steroids for me. And if you do listen to what he has to say, at times I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, he's correct. So it's spot on. It's been very good stuff.
Very, very kind. I wasn't very kind.
No, I know you
I
weren't
wasn't
marketing it.
soliciting your
No,
praise.
but I will market it for you. I think it's been a great experience for me.
I'm glad that you and a whole bunch of other women in their 70s have found some confidence and hope here. Today, I just want to focus on what your question is. It's sort of like the big existential burning question. I don't know if we'll be able to cover all of it in 20 minutes, but we'll do the best that we can.
Got it. I think the most important thing that you would talk about in Love You is the fact of waiting 2 to 3 years before you end up getting quote unquote married. And most of us in our 70s are like, I I don't know if I want to wait that long. I don't know if I need to be married. And you challenged me a couple weeks ago in our coaching call, and I now am sitting with, okay, I'm going to wait a year, well, not year, but probably 2 years, 2.5 years, because if it's real, it'll last that long. But I don't know about the actual ceremony of marriage because of financials. I'm on Social Security. I think his money should go to him, his kids, my money should go to my kids, and I would lose my Social Security. And I'm just not so sure that I need to be married, but versus committed. So I'm just wondering your thoughts about that.
So just to state it back to you to make sure I got your question right, you're worrying about the wisdom of getting married in your 70s, given the financial considerations.
Yes, correct. Spot on.
I think the value of our conversations, of my working with women who are older and more experienced than I am, and your value of working with a guy, right? Is that
Yes.
we get to hear each other's perspectives and perhaps consider something that we hadn't considered before, right?
Absolutely.
So let's start by me owning the fact that I couldn't possibly know what it's like to be a 70-year-old woman on Social Security trying to consider leaving money to her child. Like, that is not on my radar. It's not something I've lived through. I'm now coaching it, but it's not mine. So I don't want to overstep my bounds and say you should anything. My but is simply this. It is not that the piece of paper makes all the difference in the world. It's that there's very little evidence that there are a ton of couples who fall in love at 70 and live together till 90 who aren't married. Everybody says this is the new model. I don't know. I don't know anybody. I haven't heard that many. New York Times will do a story that this might be trending up and seniors are avoiding marriage. All of this could be true, right? I haven't seen that much evidence of that old couple, the little tiny couple holding hands in the park, that they're not married. Now, it's possible that they are. So I'm left with, I understand financial considerations, and those are to be taken into account on an individual basis, right? Because the point of the marriage is not, certainly at that age, about the money, right? That's not the purpose of it. So I almost want to decouple it from the conversation, even though we can't. It's a very real thing. And if someone says, hey, I'm my husband who passed away left me millions of dollars, I'm not leaving that to you. I'm not leaving that to your kids. I'm leaving that to my family. I don't think anybody's going to argue with that, right? So whether there's a prenup, I don't know. So couples can invent their own relationship on a case-by-case basis. The argument, if there is, that I'm making for marriage, Maureen, is this. I hate to be a tease, but the full episode is for paid Substack subscribers only. So if you want to hear my full answer to all my reader questions, go to www.evanmarkatz.com/Substack to become a paid subscriber. In addition to that, paid subscribers receive the ability to ask me questions and get coaching on my podcast, an advice column in which I answer your questions, a podcast in which I offer you live dating coaching, the ability to comment on all posts and join the dialogue in the Love-Splaining community, and exclusive content that is unavailable to the general public. Just go to www.evanmarkatz.com/Substack to join for free and upgrade for all the bonus content. Thanks, and I look forward to seeing you in the Love-Splaining community.